Yep, Toronto Raptors, they have the fewest losses in the East, and they've won 11 of their last 12 games. We get to finally talk about them, Coach. Have we been sleeping on this team?
I think so. I think this is a different Raptors team this year. I know they've had some great regular seasons and didn't show up, necessarily in the playoffs like people would like, but I just see a different style team. I see a team with the edge to them. They're playing fast, they're scoring, and give Coach Casey a lot of credit to be able to adapt in today's NBA from going to a team that ran a lot of sets to now a team that plays a lot more free-flowing and attacking basketball, and it's been fun to watch their evolution.
I'm not really sold on them yet because I've seen this replay from the Raptors, a great regular season team where they end up in the top 4, home court advantage. Just to see them get bounced again in the playoffs. I don't know how much they did in the offseason to improve their roster as far as getting that player that can get you over the top. They have good young role players. Valanciunas, he's improving, but I just don't see that other player that gets them past where they need to go. I look at them as a team that can make the second round, put up a good fight, but their ceiling, maybe the Eastern Conference Finals, but no further than that. They can get the best record in the East, have home court advantage, but I just don't see this team really being a contender amongst Cleveland, Houston, Golden State.
Well, you said something that's important, Paul. You said they're probably a second-round team, but maybe Eastern Conference. If this team makes the Eastern Conference Finals, they celebrate their season because they're not better than the Cavs.
Right.
I don't think it's a team over there that can beat the Cavs, but if they make it to that point, they celebrate their season. It was a good season. We go home saying, listen, we gave it all we had. I'm giving Coach Casey a lot of credit as well. He's changed up the way that they play.
Yes, he has.
And I think it's made an effect on the team. We don't have the luxury of ever seeing this team play.
Right.
Because they're in Canada. They don't play a lot of, games on our network or the other network. So that's the problem that we have. We don't get to see them. The biggest problem to me is, can Kyle Lowry in the playoffs lead this team the way that he leads them in the regular season? He's had some monumental meltdowns in the playoffs and some stretches that he didn't get it done. And we all know that at some point we take on the mentality of our leader. This is the leader of their team, so they've had some struggles in the playoffs. But I think that he's going to be able to get it done. And
Why? Why do you think this will be different?
Well, I think they play differently. They don't struggle to score as much as they once did the last few years. Now they can get up and down. They space in the court with C.J. Miles a little bit. Serge has been good for them, spacing the court, bringing a defensive mentality. I just think that they're a little bit different.
But was that puzzling, though, the times when it was seemingly as though Kyle Lowry had just sort of checked out? And if, in fact, that is what happens, then does it matter what the style of play is?
Yeah, but at the same time, I do think that guys grow.
Okay.
And you learn from your scenarios, and a lot of guys have struggled and hit walls where, it just seems like a blank spot and they're not there. But he's a competitor. He's a tough kid. He's got a coach that believes in him. And I think the style of play really fits him. And it's turning him loose. So he's going to be a headache when playoff time comes around.
Yeah, Cal, he's been an all-star. I love Cal. I love DeMar. He's a L.A. guy. I love all of my L.A. guys.
Who's next?
Who else do you love?
I love those guys. But it's like after that, DeMar, he's put together fantastic seasons. This guy, it seems like he's getting better and better.
Career high.
Just when you thought he couldn't get no better, last year we talked about him being in the MVP race. This year we should talk about him. I just don't see it. I put them, like we talk about the Rockets, they're going to be a great regular season team, but then it's just something about them when playoff time comes. I don't know if I can trust them.
Tell you, we just don't get to see this team enough, man. We don't get to see them enough.
If only there was a way we could all just figure out how to watch other games. How would we do that?
Johnson, you have a league pass. Why don't you watch them? You have the.
What are you talking about?
No, I see them. I think I broke them down very well.
Oh, you're talking about
I'm saying
everyone.
America.
They don't get enough national exposure.
These guys have an all-star backcourt. There's not a lot of teams in the league that got 2 all-stars in the backcourt.
Exactly.
And great fans, by the way.
Incredible fans.
Great
amazing fan base.
Incredible
No doubt.
Probably the best fan base.
I think Masai's done a great job up
Yes,
there
he has.
of putting that team together. Keep adding pieces to the puzzle.
We've been
Masai's
trying to
done
get
a great
Raptors
job.
in the show for about 6 shows now, so I feel really good.
Yeah, I piggyback that, though. He's done a great job by not cracking to the pressure as well. Because they've tried to get him to get rid of Case and try to get him to let Kyle Lowry go and all of this stuff, and he just stayed with it, and I think that shows a lot of resolve from the front office there to get those guys to stay in and keep getting better.